Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. It is, I think, December 3rd. Um, we're already into December and almost the end of 2021. And so we are here again on Friday. It is Fix It Friday to have a Q&A time where I can help relationships and marriages. If people come on and, just started this recently, and so I know that some people, probably a lot of people, don't know that I'm on. But the good thing is the recordings stay on the Facebook page, and then I also download it to YouTube and Health Expressions on YouTube channel, and so I'm just trying to get out here and help as many couples as possible. Um, and so glad that you're here to listen. But we're gonna I'm gonna talk about the like about 6 tips that you will be needing and will be helpful for you in your relationship or marriage. And as we're living in these weird times, um, a lot of relationships and marriages, they're kind of strained. And so these 6 strategies that you can use will be very beneficial and helpful. I think I said it last week. Some people are reaching out to me, and they're already broken up, not with a person that they want to be with, and they miss them. And I think a lot of couples are in that situation where they're on the verge of separating, maybe getting divorced, or just one person is about to move out. Um, and I want to help them. And so these 6 strategies uh, will really benefit your relationship or marriage. So the first one is take responsibility. I think when I work with couples and they say, you know, I'm 10% of the problem, 90% is the other person. You're still 10% of the problem. I always say this: it takes 2 people to make a relationship marriage good, and it's those same 2 people to make it very bad. And the first thing that you have to do, and I said take responsibility, is you have to, and I tell this to everyone, you have only one thing that you can control in this whole world. It's not your job, it's not the weather, it's not your kids, it's you. And the first thing about taking responsibility is to put your pride, turn it off. Because your pride will help you to become stubborn. To always feel like, you know what, the other person is the problem. That's why we have a bad marriage, that's why we have a bad relationship. But that first strategy is to take responsibility, is to say, I'm going to do what I can do on my part. I will put down my pride. I will listen more. I will not interrupt the other person while they're talking. I will take the full responsibility on my part. Well, if the other person does the same thing, then you have 2 people who are taking responsibility of their actions, of what they say, and now you have 2 people working as a team to make a relationship and marriage healthy, to make a marriage strong. So take responsibility. And like I said before, um, I guess I got to do this for a while until people find out about me. Then they'll come on and ask questions, and which is fine. So going back, is the first strategy is take responsibility. The second is create a time frame. Right? I'm not saying you make an ultimatum, but you set a time frame to say, you know what, we're going to try to work on this for a year, 6 months to a year. We're going to try to do things differently for a year, 6 months to a year. You can't just say, well, we'll just do this until whenever. Because when you set that in your mind, we're going to do this until whenever, a lot of times that the time period is very short. Meaning that when you don't see results right away, or that it's taking a bit longer, you'll get frustrated. But you have to create a reasonable time frame to say, let's look at our relationship, our marriage. Let's go for about 6 months to a year. Let's work on ourselves. Let's work on some, building new tools or learning new tools and skills for a relationship. So give it 6 months, give it a year, say, okay, at this date, we're going to come back and see where we are. And like I said, if both people are taking responsibility, they value the relationship or marriage, and both of them try and commit to it, it usually will end up well. The third is commit to the work. The third strategy. So the first two, take responsibility, create a time frame, and third, it is commit to the work. I'm a big advocate of honesty. And when I bring that up to couples that I'm working with, first thing they think about is being honest with the other person, which is good. Definitely, you should be honest with the other person. But when I talk about honesty, it's more of yourself. Are you honest with yourself? Are you willing to work on yourself, change yourself? Are you really honest about valuing the relationship and doing something about it? You have to commit to the work. No one told my wife and I 23 years ago that our marriage would be easy or hard. So let me be the first one to tell you, it's hard. If you are in a committed relationship, if you are in a marriage, it's going to be hard. Because you have two people coming together, grew up differently, grew up in different families, and now they're in this committed relationship with you. It's a day in, day out. You have to work on your relationship every day. If not, then one day you'll wake up and the other person will be a stranger. The other person, you just don't know them anymore. Or that passion and love is gone. You have to commit to the work. So take responsibility, create a time frame, commit to the work, and fourth is rebuild your love. What do I mean by rebuilding your love? Do you remember the time when you first met that other person that you're with now, or the day you got married, or before you got married? It was amazing, right? So you have to rebuild that love. That means you have to start talking again consistently. You have to start spending time communicating every day. You have to go on dates. You have to surprise the other person. You do. You have to surprise them with maybe a small gift. maybe a letter, a little note, telling them that you appreciate them. Do the things that you did when you were dating or engaged. Because a lot of times, the longer that you're with someone, you take them for granted. You do. I bring up the illustration of, you know, when you buy a new car, or when I buy a new car, I park it all the way at the end. If we go to the mall, all the way at the end when there's no cars around. And we have to walk a few minutes to the mall. Because I don't want to park next to someone who opens the door and dings my car. I don't. Or if my kids come in the car and they want to bring food in, I go, no. Eat it as quickly as you can before you get in the car. Because the car is new. But after a while, after a few years, your car is not new anymore. And what most people do is they stop caring. And so they start parking where everyone else parks. And sometimes they come out and there's a little ding on the door, or there's a scratch at the end at the end of the car. It's like, it's an older car. Doesn't really matter. Or you start to find old French fries underneath your seat because the food rule is gone. That's what happens when people are in a committed relationship or marriage for a long time. They take for granted the other person. They're just used to that other person. To rebuild your love, you need to put value back in that other person. To realize, what if something happened to them? What if they left you? What if they stopped existing in your life? What would your life be? I would say most people would be like, I don't want that. It would be, my life would be worse. It would be miserable. So rebuild that love. Put value in that other person. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that you appreciate them. Start doing the things that you used to do for them. Going on dates, surprising them with gifts, small little gifts, or surprising them going to a play or a Broadway show or something like you used to do when you were dating. Rebuild that love. So take responsibility, create a time frame, commit to the work, rebuild your love. Number 4. Number 5 is check in with yourself and your partner regularly. I tell this fact to a lot of couples. Before the 1990s, people would get divorced probably late 20s, early 30s. But after the 1990s, the term soccer mom was created because the kids are, even today, are busy. They have sports practice, they have to go to games, they may be in a band or orchestra, they have to go to recitals, they have to practice, they have clubs, after school clubs, and all these things. And for 18 years, before the kids go off to college or to the military and move out, the mom and dad are soccer moms. They basically, their main focal point in their marriage and in their family are their kids. And of course, it should be. The kids are very important. But your kids cannot be the glue for your relationship or marriage. They just can't. And so for 18 years, the parents run around taking them to meetings and clubs and sports practices and sports games and all of this. And they, for 18 years, and as you know, we change over time. And for 18 years, while they're focusing on their kids and not focusing on their marriage as well, they slowly become strangers. And 18 years later, they're both sitting in the dining room table eating dinner. It's quiet because they became strangers. They don't know each other. They don't know that they changed. You have to check in regularly with that other person. That means communicating, connecting consistently every day. Again, it doesn't have to be an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. 15-minute deep conversation. Or sometimes, just taking a walk together outside and talking. But there has to be a connection with that other person on a consistent basis. Even if it's not every day, if it's every other day or 4 times a week, that's better than disengaging, not connecting with your partner, not connecting with your spouse. You can ask some of these questions, very simple questions. How do you feel today? How was your week? What makes you feel loved? How can I give you more of that? Do you feel supported? Do you feel loved? What do you need from me to feel supported and loved? What can we both do better? And some of you may be thinking these questions are kind of corny, but they're simple and to the point. I believe that many of you who eventually will watch this video, some of you are miserable in your relationship or marriage. And again, you can't control that other person. You can only control yourself. Then you have to actively start doing something before it's too late. Before you leave or the other person leaves. Before you file for divorce or that your spouse files for divorce. Do something about it. And this is the sixth and last strategy is get some help. So going back to the strategies, number 1, take responsibility. Number 2, create a time frame, meaning set a goal for saying, okay, we're going to work on this intently, you and I, so that we can stay in our relationship or marriage. 3, commit to working. It will be hard work. 4th, rebuild your love. Do the things that you used to do for the other person. Revisit that place. 5, check in with yourself and your partner regularly, meaning connect with them on a consistent basis. And this lastly, 6, seek professional help. Seek someone that can help you. That's me. I wouldn't say that I'm the best, but I'm pretty good at what I do. And if you could talk to the couples that I've been helping for the last few weeks, few months, their relationship, their marriage is getting stronger and stronger. You could literally tell. Because the first time, because I just do online, and when I see them, or the first couple of sessions, you could tell their facial expression, their body language, it's negative. It's negative. But after a few sessions, and you know when both of them are trying to salvage the relationship or marriage, they're trying to do things differently. They start to, over time, over session after session, they start to be smiling during the sessions. They start laughing. And with some of my couples, they actually flirt in front of me because they're getting into a good place in their relationship. So if you've been trying to make your relationship marriage better and you feel discouraged and stuff, I think sometimes this is true. It's better for your spouse or your partner to hear from a third unbiased party because they'll listen more. There are times when my wife will say something and in my head I'm like, okay, But when one of my best friends, they'll say the same thing, and I'll be like, wow, that's brilliant. And so if you don't want to lose that other person, that you don't want to be like days, weeks, months later saying, man, I wish I was still with that person, or I wish I was still in that marriage, then you got to do something now. Not later, now. Whatever you value in life, you will put your time and resources to it. You will. I don't like to talk about money, but it boggles my mind when some couples say, we want the cheapest, we'll try to find any marriage counselor, relationship counselor, the cheapest one. You're going to risk your relationship and your marriage, your future happiness and peace, with the cheapest thing. If I knew that my marriage was falling apart or heading to divorce, I would do literally everything I could. I would open up my bank account and wallet to make sure that I would not lose my wife. Are you willing to do everything you can to not only save your marriage or relationship, but to start changing it to be making it more joyful, more peaceful? There are so much information on Google and a lot of videos on relationships on YouTube, or you can find all these things. But you need accountability, the both of you, to make sure that you are doing what you should be doing and the other person should be doing what they should be doing in order so that you can have a healthy relationship or marriage. If you're watching this maybe it's not you, maybe you have a good relationship, good marriage, but you know some people, your friends or even other family members, whose marriages or their relationship it's just bad, and they are discouraged and they are just at wit's end, give them this video. Say, check out, if you got Facebook, check out this video. Or on your YouTube, check out this video on YouTube. Check out this guy. Check out healthyexpressions.online. So going over these 6 strategies again quickly, these strategies will help you to salvage your relationship or marriage. First is take responsibility. 2 is create a time frame to say, okay, we're going to try this in 6 months. We're going to go through this changes and do whatever we can in 6 months or a year, and we'll come back. 3, commit to the work. It's hard work. You have to do it every day or consistently every day. 4th, rebuild your love. Do the things that you used to do when you were dating or engaged. Check in with yourself and your partner regularly, meaning connect with them on a consistent basis. And number 6, seek a professional, someone to help you, someone to give you the tools on how to have a healthy relationship or marriage. And if you do these 6, you're heading in the right direction of having a healthy relationship or marriage. I implore you, everyone deserves to be happy in their relationship or marriage. They do. But it doesn't come easy. There has to be hard work. And if you are married or you are living together, and this is the cherry on top of the sundae, if you have children, it is ravaging them emotionally if you're constantly fighting, if you're constantly unhappy with one another. You need to make a change in order for your relationship not only good for you and the other person, but for your children. So, again, it was good again. I love these Fridays. I love, one of these days I'm going to get, a boatload of people on who will be asking questions about their relationship or marriage, and, I'll answer them online. Until then, I think every Friday will be talking about something that will be helpful for you in your relationship or marriage. Um, but please join us every Friday, 12 Eastern, noon, 12 Eastern, um, every Friday for Q&A. But we also will talk. I will be talking about a topic. So I want you to have a great weekend. I want you, if you are in a relationship or marriage, I want you to just tell them I love you, I appreciate you, and give them a big hug, and do something fun this weekend. So again, have a great day, have a great weekend, and I will see you guys next week. Bye now.